Hey guys, today we're going to be learning about simplifying expressions. And basically what this is going to be combining the last two skills we learned, distributive property and combining like terms into one to help us simplify the expression. So first, if there are parentheses, go ahead and use the distributive property. So once you've done that, you're going to want to look through what you have left over and combine any like terms. So pause the video here if you need to and get these two steps written down. And when you're ready, let's do a couple examples. All right, hopefully you're back. So our first example, we have 7 times parentheses 9x minus 6 minus 2. So here, notice there are parentheses, so we're going to use our distributive property. We're going to distribute 7 to both of these terms. Remembering where our signs go, this negative belongs with the 6. So make sure you include that when you're multiplying. So positive 7 times positive 9 makes positive 63x. And then when we multiply 7 times negative 6, we're going to get a negative 42. And then you just bring down this minus 2 at the end. So that was the distributing, okay? Distribute. And now we're going to look for any like terms. See how these two are both constants? So we're combining like terms. So the 63x doesn't have any like terms, so we would just bring it down. And then when we do negative 42 minus 2, remember we add the opposite sign. So that becomes negative 42 plus negative 2, which is negative 44. I'll write that on the side here just in case you needed it. So remember, we're adding the opposite sign. So plus negative 2, and that's how we ended up with our negative 44. Okay, let's look at another one. We have 18 plus 2 times parentheses 4x minus 5. So again, we're C parentheses here, even though they're not at the beginning, it's okay. We can just distribute just the term right in front of the parentheses. This 18 does not get distributed, it's added to this stuff. So the 18 is just going to come down, and we're only going to distribute the number directly next to the parentheses because it's being multiplied by what's in here. 18 is just being added to it. So as we distribute, 2 times 4 is 8x, and it's positive, so we're going to add that, right? Because we're adding all of this. So when we distribute, we want to add that first term. And then here, 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. So now I'm going to look for any like terms, and I see that 18 and negative 10 are both constants. So I'm going to bring my 8x down to the front, and then I'm going to put together 18 minus 10, which equals 8. So I would add 8 to that, because notice our terms are all added and subtracted together. So if we have a positive 8, that means we're adding 8. So that would be it for that one, okay? So at this point, we're going to do the try on your own. So make sure you pause the video and get out a piece of paper to write this down. Oops, it'd help if you could see it. All right, number 1 is going to be negative 8 times x plus 2 plus 2 times parentheses x minus 1. So notice there's 2 sets of parentheses. You're going to need to distribute twice. This guy goes into this set, and this guy goes into this set. Okay, number 2, I'm just going to leave some space for when we go over it. Number 2 is negative parentheses x minus 3 plus 2 parentheses x minus 7. I can't talk today. Notice that when there's nothing there but you have a sign, that's that invisible 1 we talked about. So make sure you add in that invisible 1. I'm going to leave some more space. We'll do number 3. Negative 2 times parentheses 3x plus 4 minus 2x minus 5. So go ahead and pause the video here, try these 3, and then when you come back, we'll look at it together. All right, hopefully you're back and you've had some success. If not, watch carefully, we'll figure it out. So negative 8 times x is going to give us a negative 8x. Negative 8 times positive 2, those are different signs, would be a negative 16. And then we keep going here. Positive 2 times x will be positive 2x. Notice we keep that plus sign so that we can keep adding our terms. And then 2 times negative 1 makes negative 2. Okay, so be careful with your signs. Make sure you're thinking about them when you're multiplying. Make sure you're thinking about them when you write your answer. If it's positive, write a plus. If it's negative, write a negative sign so that we have all our terms added and subtracted together. Now look for like terms. I see a negative 8x and a positive 2x. They can go together. Remember, negative 8 plus 2 would make negative 6x. And then here, two constants, negative 16 and negative 2. I have negative 16 minus 2 over here. Remember, I'm going to add the opposite sign. So that makes negative 18. So my second term here would be minus 18. Okay, so basically if you go slow and carefully and watch your signs, be careful when you're combining that you're using your integer rules, you'll be fine on these. All right, let's try number 2 here. I'm going to distribute this first negative 1 into this parentheses and the positive 2 into this parentheses. Being careful to look at my signs. If it helps, circle which number that sign goes with so you don't get confused. So here, negative 1 times x would be negative 1x. Go ahead and keep that 1 in there because if you have to combine it with other like terms, you're going to want to see that invisible 1. Here, negative 1 times negative 3 would make a positive 3. Here, positive 2 times x would be positive 2x. And here, 2 times negative 7 would be negative 14. So going slowly, making sure your signs are correct. Now look for like terms. I've got a negative 1x and a positive 2x. So think negative 1 plus 2. These are different signs. Keep the sign of the larger number and subtract. So that would be a positive 1x. And then my constants, I've got a 3 and a negative 14. So this is 3 minus 14. Remember, subtracting integers, we add the opposite sign. Keep the sign of the larger number, so it's going to be negative something, and subtract. 14 minus 3 is 11. So you would have either 1x minus 11, or you could just write x minus 11 as your answer. Either of those would be okay. All right, last one. We are going to distribute our negative 2 into the parentheses, being careful with our signs. So negative 2 times positive 3 would be negative 6x. Negative 2 times positive 4 would be negative 8. And then this stuff we're just going to bring down, minus 2x, minus 5. Now we're going to look for like terms. We've got a negative 6x and a negative 2x. Be careful to keep the signs with the terms, okay? If it helps, you can circle each one of your terms so that you're sure you've got the sign, the correct sign with it. So if I have negative 6 minus 2, Remember, we add the opposite sign. I'm adding with same signs. That means I keep the sign and add the numbers. So that would be negative 8x. And then I have two constants. I've got negative 8 here, and I've got negative 5. Again, negative 8 minus 5. Add the opposite sign. Same sign, so keep the sign, add the numbers. That would be negative 13. So our answer would be negative 8x minus 13. All right, so now you should be going into your Google Slides and trying the practice. Remember to reach out if you have any questions. See you next time.